All right, today we're going to cover kind of a topic. Believe me, this wasn't just AI produced. Put some thought into this, as Peter had thought this would be a good, a topic to cover. And it's about building rapport. Okay. How to start conversations with your clients. Many of us have different approaches. This is not, I wouldn't say this is an end all be all. And I would also add to it that depending on how you got your referral, like how it came, will kind of also, determine how you're going to attack that conversation. Okay. In short, if this is, let me break this down for you. If this is a cold called client, okay, this might not be the best route. But what I will say is if you can take elements away from this, knowing that they call for a quick rate, you will be able to then build some rapport and more of a relationship than just a transaction. Okay. This isn't rocket science, guys. Okay. But it's just to kind of give you something formal to present, to show you, for you to take a picture, copy and paste, whatever. And I can swear to you, or I can promise you here, this is what I do with all of my clients. I know I'm not in the office enough for you guys to hear my conversations. And perhaps the only one on the call right now that can attest to it is C. But as we've obviously have worked with each other over the years, but I do hope that you guys can take away a few things from this presentation. The first thing, building trust, right? So I think the name of the game when it comes to talking with clients is building trust, okay? I think that even for that client who is looking for a quick rate quote, okay? At the end of the day, they might not know it, but subconsciously they are looking to build trust with someone. They're there to build trust, or at least give trust to the lender that they will be working with, right? Because we all hear it, we've all said it one way or another, time and space. Mortgage is going to be the largest financial decision someone will ever make, right? So for those of you here who own a home or whose parents own a home, has there been any larger of a financial decision you've ever made in your life? Probably not. Right? Unless you inherited $1 million or a few $1 million or unless you're a trust fund child or something, this is going to be the largest financial decision you'll make. So with that comes obviously responsibility, but with that comes trust that you want to have with people that are going to be a part of that transaction, right? And it's no different here. When you're talking to your clients, it's not just, hey, sir, what's your FICO score? Yeah. How much down payment? Yeah. This is the rate. This is the fees. And that's it. If you treat this as a transaction with your client, I guarantee you, more likely than not, they will treat you like a transaction. And what does that mean? They will rate shop you. Okay. That's a guarantee. That part's a guarantee. You give it off as a transaction, they're going to treat it as a transaction. And they know, hey, I could do this with ABC lender, XYZ lender as well. So effective communication is key. And I would say it's even required to building trust rather than just jumping into a sales pitch, okay? So how do you have that? Well, look, guys, it really isn't rocket science, okay? There's not too much to it. This is the foundation. This here is not AI, all right? This here is sayings from many, many different motivational speakers. Okay. You focus from Barry Habib to Zig Ziglar to Grant Cardone. I don't know if these names are all familiar to you. Something Elliott. There's this guy named Elliott something that I follow. He's like this, bravado, muscular, be a man type of a guy. If you don't understand this, guys, I'm gonna just tell you right now. And if you choose not to understand this, just resign. It's that simple. resign. You're in the wrong business. Okay. Because the foundation of sales, guys, okay, is not like the 1980s and the 70s and even in the parts of the 90s, right? Where it was go, 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 right? It was in this industrial revolution. It was the .com boom where it was just so transactional because, right, we have just more at our fingertips, right? Before it was about the dollar in the 80s, right? Insurance sales, car sales, right? Medical sales. And then we enter the .com era of internet, gave us a little bit more power, streamline things. And so it was about efficiency, right? Now in the 2000s and 2010s, it's on steroids. And the art of sales has been really lost, right? And so when you listen to these motivational speakers, the number one thing they'll remind you is focus on the people, okay, not the product. I understand that some of us, and I'm not going to mention names, perhaps many of us, want to have that quick and efficient call. I am not saying that it's wrong. I am not saying that it's ineffective. Okay. But what I found to be more effective, what I found to has worked for me, and over the many years that I've been in lending, receiving phone calls after phone calls and text messages reaching out to me when I don't always do it, is because I focus on the people. I've built rapport. I think I shared this before. I'll quickly share it again. I've been a part of divorce hearings. I've been of trust, deviation of trust. I've been a part of quinceañeras and weddings and funerals, all of whom are clients. No, not friends, not family, but clients. Okay? I have been invited to many, many birthday parties, not just housewarming parties. Why? Because the focus is on the people. Okay? I hope you understand that when you can engage in relationship through mortgage, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, it might not be that quick 10-minute call that sometimes we could be taught to do, and it can turn into an hour, sometimes two, but I believe it is more effective. Okay? And so what happens is, in short, you have this conversation, right? You draw out from the prospect, the borrower, their needs, their goals, their concerns, their wants, right? You explain to them how the mortgage product works. And then they go and talk to another lender. And then the lender says, "What's your credit score, ma'am? Sir? How much down are you doing? Here's the rate." And that's it. I tell you, not all the time, but many a times, even if the other lender's rate is slightly better, when they sleep on it, wake up the next day, they're not thinking about the rate. They're thinking about, man, Rogner, C, Alex, Harrison, Paul. I really enjoyed that conversation with that professional, right? And if it is that your rate is higher, they're more inclined to come back and say, "Hey, see, I'm going to be honest. I talked to this person. I really like you. Do you think you can at least match this rate? Hey, do it. Make a few $100 less. Make $1,000 less to match the rate. And again, earn the business." Okay. So right there. The foundation is to focus on people. You want to draw out the prospect's needs, goals, and concerns instead of immediately discussing their interest in rates and loan products. Let that be last. Okay. Invest your time in understanding their situation and be thorough and ask open-ended questions. You're being an advisor. Now, here are some essential questions that I asked. Again, this is not AI questions. These are mine. Number one, or not in a particular order, but if there was, here, let me go through it first. If there was an order, I usually go something like, "Sir," so let's say Harrison's my client. I would ask, "Hey, Harrison, when was the last time you financed a home? Or have you ever financed a home? Right? That right there, the reason why I asked that question is that right there, that question alone helps me understand right away, am I dealing with a rookie or am I dealing with a veteran, or perhaps am I dealing with an amateur? Okay, so case in point, real life examples, and Brenda's on this call, I think Gia's on the call, they can attest to this. I have an escrow right now, Ari, Yamashiro, whatever. Elder borrowers, they're mid 80s. They have not purchased a home since 2006. Okay. So when I ask them, hey, when's the last time you financed a home? And they tell me 2006, I'm like, okay, I'm really dealing with a rookie. Okay. Maybe a seasoned rookie, like a year or two rookie, but this is not a veteran. Why? Anyone want to take a wild guess as to why I'm dealing with a rookie, even though they purchased a home many years ago?
A lot of regulations have changed since 2006.
Yes, thank you. Dodd-Frank Reform Act of 2009 and 10. Okay, they bought and they experienced financing pre-Dodd-Frank, so they don't know DTI. Okay, they don't understand they're gonna have to provide me their entire livelihood to me, because that's not how it worked back then, guys. Okay, so I'm speaking with someone green. Okay, so in my head already, my mind is like calculated. I gotta break this down for them, because why? Number one, because this isn't their experience, they're gonna be most likely overwhelmed. Common responses I get is, oh my gosh, Rogner, this is overwhelming. Oh my gosh, why do I need to provide you all that? Is that really necessary? Right? You're going to get comments like that. So you have to be prepared for that. Your headspace has to be prepared for, okay, I'm going to feel this and this in question, because they don't know, but they think they kind of know because they've had a prior experience. Okay. On to the next one. So as we go on, I will talk about number 2. Okay. What are do you have any questions then right now about mortgage? Or it's like, are you so green that you just don't even know the questions, right? When you ask that question, you get a really now even a more deeper dive into how much has this person studied the products. Okay, I'll give you a quick example. I have examples for all of this. Farah Lee is a pre-approval in my pipeline right now. Okay, she's a first-time home buyer. She's 38 years old. She has a luxury women's clothing line. And I am jealous because she does really well for herself. Her tax returns show like upwards of $15 million gross. And she takes home about 7 figures every year, right? And she's young. She's 30. She's not married. But she has a very successful business. And she doesn't cheat her taxes. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm going to be dealing with someone's pretty thorough. But when I asked those questions, so I asked this question to Farah, and she asked me, hey, Rogner, what really is the difference between going with high balance and jumbo? I'm like, oh, this borrower, she's done some homework. She goes, is it true that jumbo loans generally have better interest rates? I go, wow, she's either talked to another lender or she knows her stuff here. Another thing she answered, she goes, I own 50% of my business, but that's a change from my corporation from a few years ago when I was 100% owner. Does that affect me? I'm dealing with someone very intelligent. I'm dealing with someone who's done some homework. That's why I asked this question. If someone comes off like, oh, no, I don't have any questions. I mean, yes, one, they could be quote unquote lying about it, or two, they just straight up don't know. Those are a lot easier in some ways, right? They kind of give you, or they kind of take, right, what you say, right? They might not trust it 100%. They might believe it all. They might doubt, but they're just going to hear you out because they don't know anything. Okay. But from there, they will, with that question, they will show you where they are, right? Are they ready for this? Do they know anything about it? Do they have any inhibitions to mortgage? But just ask the question, hey, what are your biggest questions to mortgage? Okay. Next thing, what's most important to you in your home search right now? That, guys, is going for me. I asked that question because that tells me how serious I need to be with this borrower. Okay. This one, I know I'm kind of teetering danger zone here, but yes, at this point in my career, I don't want to waste time with people who are not serious. Okay. So when someone says, oh, I'm just kind of like looking right now for the next, maybe looking to buy next year. Look, guys, there's no reason to do so much. I mean this when I say it. I will intentionally cut that conversation as best as I can to limit it to about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm being serious. I really will. Because I know they're not going to retain this information, so I don't need to give them too much. Now, if their response and a follow-up question could be, well, should you find the right property? I know you said you're not going to look for the next year or so, but if you find the raw property, but because you went to an open house, would you jump on it? If they say yes, you can give them a little bit more. If they say no, look, we're really not ready, then there's really not. Again, time is precious. You shouldn't feel obligated to have an hour and a half, 2-hour conversation with every client, guys. Okay. For one, it's not wise because you could go on to the next one. Okay. So that question there really is just to kind of gauge. Now, to the agent, it might be different. And there is an agent version of this, by the way. But yes, it's to understand for you how serious this person is right now. Okay. Among other things, but again, a lot of open-ended questions, right? So the responses could go different ways. Finally, tell me about your goals. Some people will put 5 to 7, 5 to 10, 3 to 7. For me, it's 2 to 5. Why? Because this tells me how I can structure this loan file. Okay? I want to keep in the back of my head, do I need to go in an investment route or a DSCR? Do I have to be worried about EPO? Should I sell them an ARM product? Would an interest only make sense to them? Do you guys follow? Okay? If they say, hey, what are your goals? Oh, I don't know. I just want to get this house and just live in it for 30 years. Why entertain anything else? Just give them a 30-year fixed rate primary residence and that's it. You don't have to think about anything else. But dig a little bit deeper, then you're already challenging yourself now, all the different possibilities. Okay? And it's crucial because if you're not doing it, guess what? I can guarantee you I'll be doing it. Okay? I'll speak for myself only here. And I can guarantee you there's some other lender somewhere out there that's doing it, asking and prodding the deeper questions. But again, all of this to build rapport. Okay, we're trying to build a rapport. Wow, Rogner asked me that question about this. I didn't even think about that. That was so good. Hey, I remember Rogner said we talked about this. Something's going to stick. Why? Because we had a dialogue. It wasn't just, here's the rate, take it or leave it if you like. You guys follow? We've talked about this ad nauseum, right? If you were a part of the, whether you were a part of the Home Ready team or not, I think a few months before, do you guys remember Earn? This is not going to work. You guys remember Earn? Earn your what?
Trust.
Trust, right? There you go, Harrison. Thank you. Earn your trust, right? You've got to educate yourself. E was for educate, right? You have to position yourself as a trusted education partner. Okay. As tedious, perhaps, as, I don't know, I used to think like this, so I'm going to put it out there. Pointless as Tuesday meetings can become, perhaps to you, I'm telling you, you're not getting it. There's always something to obtain. Okay. There's always something, whether big, small, many little things, there's always valuable information to gain. Okay. The more educated you are, you're positioning yourself to be more trusted. Okay. Education is the key. How many of us, okay, have sat in lectures in high school or in college, and you're just like, man, this just isn't it, right? I'm sure you've had professors or teachers who just kind of go through it haphazardly. And then you've had those professors and teachers who really embody the material, who've gone through it, who've exercised, who just really lives through their material and their subject matter, right? There's a difference between those two. And obviously the one who just kind of haphazardly goes through it, just goes through the textbook and says, and reads it, you don't feel it, right? Like it's going to be a lot more studying on your own, as opposed to that teacher who's just so passionate, right? Lives it, embodies it. Like you're with the teacher and the professor, and it's easier to learn. Be that teacher, be that type of professional where your passion comes out and your clients are just right there with you. I'm telling you guys not to boast, but I get invited to these things. It's Rogner, how are you always just working from home? You know what? I've been blessed to have great clients who come back over and over again seeking me, but it is because I got to kind of pat myself on the back. I put in the time to build, these relationships with them, and it starts with education. Okay. I hope C will vouch for me here. When I first joined residential, I actually worked with C at Wells Fargo. We were with a company called Wells Fargo, but more importantly, we were part of the private mortgage division, or bankers, PMB. And I think I touched up on this before, but at that time, we had this uncanny ability, right, to sell the loan, app the loan, and then underwrite the loan, right? It was a beautiful thing, right? And I actually never got there. I was so new. My first few months to years was just to educate myself, right? And I had a senior, I'm not going to name his name, but I had a senior that I was underneath. And I vowed that I am going to learn and know more than that guy within a matter of months. And so I studied. I studied all Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. I studied our Wells Fargo guidelines. I did as many open houses that I can. I wanted to be educated. This slide, I get what this is an AI. I get what this is doing. I'll just skim over it. These are just add-ons, or as they call it, value adds when you're talking to a client. Do you guys all know of an app called HomeBot? I think we've heard of it. I'm not sure if we have it. Brenda, do we have HomeBot as a service at GivingTree? No? So HomeBot is this program basically where if you enroll in it every month or periodically, they'll send you emails on your property or nearby areas of where you want to purchase. So if you own a home, it'll give you the value of the home. And apparently it's really good. But not only will it give you, or very accurate, not only will it give you the value, but it will give you, based on title records, it'll estimate your current payoff balance. And if you were to sell it, how much equity you have, or how much equity you have, and thus you can refinance. This is kind of speaking to that. This is a little bit more hands-on, right? And it is something that I have done. So when I'm talking with a client and they say, I have this property, I don't know if I want to rent it out or stuff, I get the address. And as I'm talking with them on the phone, I'll Google search their property. I'll pull up a property profile, and I'll do the whole 9 yards, right? I'll take it to the neighborhood. I'll look at the comps. I'll look at the school district, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just give them my peace of mind. Hey, I think this is how much you can sell it for. This is how much equity you have. But that goes into further conversation of, hey, did you want to potentially, possibly look into refinancing, right? Or taking a line of credit to cash out to put a bigger down on the home you're looking for, right? You're searching, right? Those are all little add-on strategies, guys, right? So it's not just you're on a phone call and it's just a dialogue. Hopefully it's a two-way dialogue, but it's as you're on the call, you're in front of your computer screen, you're finding out as much stuff, information as you can, and you're looking it up. You're typing it away, right? Especially if they have existing properties that they own. Another thing is once you find out what they do for a living, it's something to talk about. If they're a business owner specifically, right? If they're self-employed, look up their business, Yelp it. Hey, that's very interesting. Brag about it. Oh, show interest in it. If it's a restaurant, I want to definitely check it out. I love that kind of food, even if you don't, right? You're kind of making things up as you go. But yes, those are other kinds of add-ons. Success stories is something that I'm always doing, guys. I think personally, it is okay. It's very okay, because someone might say that they don't care. But I think it's especially if you can show it one way or another. Email it, snippet something and show it. Success stories. Success stories is something that many people do, right? By way of Yelp and Google reviews, right? I think you could take it a step further and share one that may pertain and be a little bit more relevant to the situation with the client you're on or you're speaking with, okay? Leveraging referrals and connections. Obviously, when you have a referral that comes from a connection, so your realtor sends you a client, this one's going to be a lot easier to connect with than the cold call or a lead that you generated from whatever lead generation system that you use, right? When it comes to referrals, guys, this is what I'm going to say. If your agent sends you a referral, you better build a relationship. Okay, you better use you better ask these questions. Okay, you better be educated. Your intent should be building trust. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. This is for all of you guys, actually. I just had a talk with, let's say, someone very prominent at the Home Ready team yesterday. Okay, so for you team members who works with the Home Ready team, I want you to perk your ears a little bit right now. This comes from a horse's mouth in that group, okay? I don't want to give it away by mentioning the gender. This person said that their agents try to spend as much time building rapport with these clients, and sometimes that is not reciprocated by the lender. I'm going to say that one more time. The Home Ready team, and it's a horse, a Home Ready team member said, we at Home Ready team do our best to build relationship with our clients. And they do A, B, C, D. I'll spare you the details. They do all of this. And the feedback was that it's not being reciprocated by the lender. Okay? Understand something, guys, as a loan officer here. If someone hasn't told you this already, do you guys understand how much work an agent has to do to procure a client? Do you guys understand that or no? Put your thinking caps on in elementary school and pretend right now you're an agent. How will you go about procuring a client right now? Just think about it real quick. Whatever you're doing, driving, don't close your eyes if you're driving. But if you're behind a computer listening or not right now, just for 10 seconds right now, imagine that you're an agent, okay? Think about what you have to do to procure a client. I could tell you right now, it's 100 times more than what you and I have to do. You understand, real estate agents have to be out there door knocking. You understand that agents have to go out there and do open houses. Do you know what an open house entails? This is going to be our next training next week. They have to go out early, 2 hours early, put up signs. If it's hot like it is right now, they have to bring an extra set of clothes, put some perfume or cologne, wash up, change into their suit. They have to prepare snacks and water. If it's a luxury home, they have to put on a whole spread. They'll have a balloon guy. They'll have an ice cream cart guy. They'll have a pizza guy. They'll have a taco cart guy. They have to walk the premise of the property, make sure everything is clean, open the light or shutters, turn on the lights. They will go around the neighborhood and tell them, hey, we're going to have a special open house for the neighborhood on a Friday night, let alone having the open house on Saturdays and Sundays, mind you, in which we're at church, ball games, basketball games, watching football, resting, barbecuing. They're holding open houses from 3 to 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours a day, only then to have to break down, put all the signs away, make sure the food is away because they don't want to attract mice and ants and other pests, right? Make sure it's locked, and then they go home and that's when they get their weekend, right? If it's not that, they're canvassing with other agents. They're going to broker peer reviews. They're going to city hall canvasses, right? They're part of social networks. They are cold calling off a list, 1,000 a day. If you want to fact check that, ask Sammy Fadel, Lifetime Realty. He makes it a point to contact 1,000 or makes it a point to dial 1,000 numbers a day. And believe me, my eyes to the heavens, all right? I have seen it done. 1,000 calls a day, guys. Okay? What else do they have to do? They get a listing because it's a referral or because of their door knock. They have to put on a listing presentation. They get suited up. They have to set aside an hour to two. They take brochures, by the way, which they have to pay for. They got to get it printed, color printed. They got to go to pick it up at Kinko's. They go meet. They have to drive to the client's house. They have to put on this lavish presentation in the hopes that they're going to sign the BRBC. I'm going to stop there. Do you guys understand? They do a lot of work. Now, the successful ones, or the ones that have business, right? The agents that don't have business, they obviously they don't do this, right? But the ones that have business, even if it's once a month or one every 2 months, think about, as you put your thinking cap on, how much work it goes to procure a client. It's a lot. I didn't even talk about the buy side. Agent, I want to see ABCDEFG, JKLMNOP properties on this Saturday, right? Guys, when you get a connection, a referral from your network, you need to treat this as if it's your own mother. Your own mother who's in a wheelchair, who's 80 years old and can't do the basic needs. You got to baby this. You got to love on them, take care of them. Because why? Think about the work that the agent put in, and that agent is going to refer you that client. And you didn't have to do anything but pick up the phone. All right? This is why this is important. If you think this is easy, man, this is why you're probably not producing as much as Peter. Okay? Just telling you that right now. If you're just going at this haphazardly, there's a reason why you're not happy with the amount of money you're making right now in this industry. Okay? To build relationships is one thing. Okay? To gain the trust of an agent who refers you is another. But it's another ballgame you got to enter if you're going to honor that referral. Okay? And in turn, show that agent, hey, this is what I did. Okay? Couple things. A few things when you get this referral. Number one, you've got to be timely, right? You have to be timely. If an agent sends you a referral, you have got to call them right away. Very few times, and I will say this because I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to make sure tell you and show you that I'm perfect. There have been times where I have not called timely to the referral that I was given. Okay. Again, not a lot, but a handful of times. I have agents call me back, cursing me out because their client said, hey, your lender, Rogner, who you spoke highly of, it's been 4 hours and they didn't call me. This actually just happened to me last year. I'm going to say her name, Nicole Hahn. She was a number one at Lifetime Realty. She's now at a company called Compass. She sent me a referral. I don't remember what happened. I got busy. I forgot to call. She called me, Rogner, when are you going to call her? I was like, who? She goes, did you not see my text? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Nicole. Guess what? She went on to the next lender. How it works, guys. It's just how it works. Okay? That's why the agent doesn't want to look bad. Because it does make the agent look bad when you do that. It is important. And borrowers themselves, they expect it. Believe me, borrowers, and they will appreciate it and respect the fact that you reach out to them timely. Okay? Second thing is, be personalized. Don't make it a sales type of a call. Hey, I got your referral from Nicole. She wanted to help me get you pre-approved. I would love to help you with that. Here, what's your talk about? Hey, do you know what your FICO score is like? Great. Let's see. Well, for the purpose of the pre-approval, look, I want to make Nicole happy. I could issue it. Your rate's going to be about like 6.5%. Does that sound good enough to you? That's not going to get you anywhere. Okay. Just understand again, when the agent refers you that client just spent a whole week or two, or maybe a few hours even, but taking time building rapport with that agent. So you should do the same. Okay. If they don't pick up, then leave a voice message or a text message. Okay. Don't be weird about it. Just genuinely, something like, hi, this is Rogner with Giving Tree Lending. I received your contact from Nicole Hahn of Compass Realty. I understand it's midday right now and you're probably at work and busy, but I do work around the clock. If you could give me a call today, I'll be available from 4 to 5. Otherwise, you could call me after hours, or just leave me a text and I'll make sure to respond back to you. I really look forward to having this conversation with you and hoping I can help with your mortgage needs. Something like that. Your tone, just be gentle, be very open-minded about it. Stress that you're here to help. Right? This is a little bit redundant. So I'm going to go ahead and end it with this slide here. Okay. I think the if when is very, very crucial. I do this all the time. Okay. Position yourself as if they need you, as if they want you. They're going to want to work with you. Okay. But in the hypothetical, all right. If we work together, okay. So you're putting a statement out there, not saying that you are going to work together, but if you do, I can do this. I can deliver that for you. Okay. If you move forward with us, I'm going to give you, A, B, C, D, clear communication, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When you do work with me, again, it's another conditional statement. You're going to experience this thing. Okay. You're not telling them. No one wants to be told. Okay. No one wants to be told who to use, what rate to take, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But you're kind of conditioning them to see, hey, if you do work with me, if you move forward with me, when you work with me, you're gonna get these, positives, these these benefits, these great experiences. Okay, so use this if when statements. Okay, if for the sake of time, I would love to have like a role play, but we don't have that time. So take a picture of this or whatever. Try practicing this in your dialogue today. Okay. So really, that's it, guys. I hope that was helpful.